Hello, YouTube and universe. Welcome to Starstorm Productions. I'm your host, Morro, and on today's video random review, we'll be taking a look at the Kamen Rider Zeztz BreakAM Zeztzer. But before we begin, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification so you don't miss another video like this. Because it may be a small clip for you guys, but it's a big help for me and the channel. Thank you. Without further ado, let's begin. If you meant to stutter like that in the intro, I'm going to call you Stutterbug. Yes, I didn't mean to stutter for that shade, but anyway, let's take a look at the box before we take a look at the actual weapon. But anyway, here is the box for the BreakAM Zeztzer. This will be the main weapon used by, this is the main weapon used by Zeztz in the show, and it is basically a multi-tool. Think of Deno's sword, Deno's weapon, what's another multi-tool weapon? I can't think of them on the top of my head, but yeah, think of Deno's weapon. Basically having 3 different forms. And the funny thing is, almost all of these forms, except for the scythe mode this has, are the same as Deno's. But anyway, here's the front of the box. Of course, we have Zeztz on there, and we have the form that comes with the capsule, machinery. And we also have the 3 other forms that it comes with, gun mode, axe mode, and scythe mode. On the top, we have Kamen Rider Zeztz and the BreakAM Zeztzer, and a better look at what the sword looks like by itself and the capsule. On this side, it shows everything that's included, also a QR code, also Kamen Rider Zeztz. This side shows his different forms using it. We have Impact, Stream, Recovery, and Wonder. And on the back, it just shows the full extent of it. We have his sword form and how it's configured, the gun mode and how it's configured, axe mode and how it's configured, and scythe mode and how it's configured. We also have, when you put a capsule in, it does the finisher, and also showing off the capsule and how it connects to the driver. And on the bottom, it's just a ton of legal jargon. Warning, choking hazard. Small parts, not for children under 3 years old. But anyway, that's it for the box for our main weapon for the rider. Now let's actually take a look at what's inside. Starting off, here we have the machinery capsule. Now this is another capsule that is a part of the Techno capsules. And I like the cyan blue that they use for it. It looks really good. And for the photo, it's the same robot that came with Stream, but instead it has a huge robot arm now, which looks pretty good. And when you spin, it's like the arm is going up and down, like he's casting, which is really cool. I like how it looks. And here it is next to Stream. Of course, you see the 2 different shades of blue, and I like how it looks. And of course, the same kind of robot. Just this one has a robot arm. Now, let's put this inside of the Zeztz driver. Alright, here we have the Zeztz driver. Let me turn this bad boy on. Yes, I just said your name. Of course, put the capsule in. Yeah, it's the same type of machinery kind of sound that Stream had, which I kind of like. I prefer Wonders, though. And you spin. And here we have machinery. I like how the cyan looks. It looks really good. And yeah, I honestly like it. And of course, when you spin the capsule again, it says its name and does a couple robot noises. And yeah, I personally like it. Now, there's nothing really much to say. Let's talk about its finishers. First up, press this button down. That's 1, 2, 3, and that's your full charge finisher. Yeah, that's it for its normal finisher. And of course, we have the over banish. You gotta click it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spin that bad boy. And that's its over banish. And oh no, that's really it when it comes to the capsule. I really like the sounds that come with it. And as I said, I like the capsule. Now let's move on to the main event, the BreakAM Zeztzer. And here is the main event of the hour, the BreakAM Zeztzer. And might I say, I love how it looks. It comes in 2 parts, the main blade that connects to the 2 points right here, and the handle. Now, the main thing about the handle is, this is where most of the sounds will be coming from. Here is the speaker. And basically, this is the most important part. You can press down here, makes the sound of a capsule, but because the blade part isn't on, it doesn't make any noise. But, yeah. It's really cool. It has 2 buttons back here. This button right here is to it activates these here, making them go down so you can slide the main blade off. And this button right here is to disconnect the capsule. And of course it has a trigger for whenever you want to make the sound effects. And yeah, the most important part, right there. And then we have the blade part. It's pretty cool. I like how it looks. The blade is the same kind of see-through plastic as the strap for the driver, which is a pretty cool detail. And of course, it has different ports depending on how you want to connect it to the handle. And oh no, looks good. Now, let's start off with blade mode. Now, the way you do the blade form is real simple. You take this, put the handle, and it slides on like voila, and you have sword mode. And it looks really good. I like how sleek it looks with the green going from the right here all the way down. Plus, I like how it lights up. And when you press the trigger, slash noises, which is really cool. Now, the one thing about this, it doesn't matter what capsule you put in because it does not read them. So we'll just be using the capsule that's included with this, the machinery capsule. Now, of course, like the driver, put it in. Gives you a standby sound. Okay. And you spin it. And once you do this finisher, the whole thing will turn purple, sliding through the different colors. And then you pull the trigger, and then cause a destructive blast. Well, slash. And that's really it for the sword. It's really cool. And even though it's not as big as I like it, it works as a really cool short sword. And as I said for the trigger, what you do, press down here, and you pull out the capsule. Now that's it for sword mode. Let's move on to the next mode. Now, let's move on to the next mode, being gun mode. It is really simple to do. What you do, you press this button here, do that, and flip it to where this part right here matches up where the sword mode was, and there we have gun mode. And instead of it being red, it is blue to go with the Technolum capsules. And actually, I said this earlier, but each weapon goes with a certain form. Though he can use the capsules for each forms in the different modes, like how he used projection in gravity, or he used the sword mode and machinery. So yeah, for the sounds, it just changes it up, and instead of being slashes, it's gunfire. And personally, this is my favorite form of it because it feels like an actual hefty gun. the trigger is small, so I hold my hand like this and trigger with my middle finger. But if I do it with this, it doesn't hold well because, you know, made for kids. But yeah, I like how it looks. And of course, you put the capsule in. Same music. And fire. And other than that, that is it for gun mode. The next mode we'll be taking a look at is axe mode. Again, press the button on that. And instead of doing this, you flip it, plug it in, and you have axe mode, which looks pretty good. It's a short melee axe, but in the show, like everything else, it is way bigger. And I like how it looks. When you press trigger, it makes different slash noises compared to the sword mode. And it looks good. The green for recovery and barrier. And yeah, it looks pretty good. I expect it looks more like a sickle in my opinion when it's like this. Now, of course, put the capsule in. Spin. And instead of it being a slasher thing, it's called BreakAM Crash. And all in all, this is my second favorite version of it. Now let's move on to the final mode. Now let's move on to the final form, that being Scythe mode. Now of course, got that, put it on top. And we have the purple Scythe mode that goes with both gravity and wonder. And I like how it looks. It more looks like a sickle when it's like this, because you know the end extends in the show. So yeah, but it still looks pretty good. It's more, I kind of like it. You can swing it around for it has slashing sounds, and I like how every slashing sound is very distinct from one another. Bandai could have been lazy like Hasbro and just made one sound, but I like how they did it. And of course, put the capsule in. Pull the trigger. And that's really it. Oh no, I like how it is. And of course, take the capsule out. And that's really it. The one thing I forgot to mention is the way you do certain modes, it has to hit these buttons right here. This button does sword mode. This button does scythe mode. And depending on what you press first can change it from gun to axe mode. Like if I press the one that has sword mode first, then scythe mode, it gives us axe mode. But if I press scythe mode first, it gives us gun mode, which is a really unique way to do it. Now, let's move on to my final thoughts for this toy. And that's it for the BreakAM Zeztzer. If you're wondering why I changed it to gun mode, it's because sword mode could not stand on my table. But anyway, yeah. I have to say, it's really fun, and it fell over, great. And I love how it's basically just an army switchblade of a weapon, turning into 4 different ones for each of Zezt's forms, which is really fun to mess with. And I even love the machinery capsules. The sounds that it comes with when you put it in the Zeztz driver are absolutely amazing. And I will have to recommend it to anyone who's collecting anything from Zeztz. Make sure you get this. It is a ton of fun to mess with. And if I had to give it a ranking, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Only a 9 out of 10 because the weapon doesn't actually interact with the capsules. But other than that, amazing figure. Recommend it to anyone who wants it. And other than that, that's really it for the video, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed, and let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about it? Did you like it? Are you willing to buy it? Let me know. And if that's everything, that's a wrap. Fade to black.